We have to be selfish. Why do I say that though? Because so many times we're taught and we're raised in a society this team, team, team. But what happens when you actually branch out of that team mentality and actually go to experiencing self? So we're gonna talk about that. So I want you to look at this right here. This person I'm drawing, right? Okay, so this person right here is supposed to be self, right? It's you. So with that, you have the things that's going on in your mind, like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna eat today? What is this gonna be like? Like all of these things that we were raised to experience and go on through life thinking, right? And sometimes most of the things that we go through and we see are a reflection of the fears that we grew up staying away from in order to, in a sense, please people, to whether that be to not be abandoned as a child or whatever that looks like. It's fear. Or it can be things that have been limits to you based off of the things that have been taught to you by people. Okay? Because at one point we were all kids, right? At one point we didn't have different, like we would walk up to snakes for real and not have fear of it. But who taught us that? People, let's gonna say outside of ourselves, like our parents and family, friends, all of those things, right? So we have fear, but where does that come from? Right here. So all of the things that are now living in our heads, all of this fear that has been living in our heads is based off of these people right here. You shouldn't do this because this will this. Don't do this because this and that. And so now you put limits on who you can become within this spectrum of being right here. And so now you put yourself in a box. How do I know this? Because I've done it. Okay? And I'm just at a point now where I'm actually understanding that, yes, respect these people, and you still have the obligation now with you growing up to remove these and remove these to exchange this and this for limitless power. Okay, but how do we get to having limitless power though? So the first step is being selfish. But what does being selfish mean, right, Bree? So when I say being selfish, I don't mean just say F everybody, I'm not doing nothing for everybody else. But that means prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your energy. But what does that mean? That means getting out of this state of being right here. So say you're this person still, with all of the fears and everything still within you, that looks like zooming outside of yourself. How do you do that? By meditating. By coming to knowing yourself is not having limits and not being, I'd say, powerless. Like for me in church, I am that they say, and they program inside of you, because all of these are programs of fear and limits. Now you start to put I am next to your name, and you put something that puts a limit onto you, into your being. Instead, what you want to do is you want to start to meditate in order for you to zoom out side of yourself and see the I am that you actually are. The I am that you actually are has limitless power. And with that limitless power that you have, you are a God. So, what does it mean when I say you are God? Let's go to Psalms 82. So, when it talks about in Psalms 82 is, in a sense, God was talking and saying that ye are gods. You are God. He didn't create you to be powerless. He didn't create you to have limits and fears of the world. He created you to have limitless power. How do you do that? By meditating. By filling yourself and affirming yourself with things outside of this spectrum of being. So, in order to further do that, you have to put a re in front of program. So you have to reprogram what? We're going to put reprogram. What is this? Inside of here? Your mind. So you have to reprogram your mind in order to think different, in order for you to have a different program running rampant in your mind, that you're not filled with all of these limits that were placed on you by this, but now you start to speak another word and you allow a higher version, or what people say God or source or universe, to speak a different word over your life. And so now you start to raise yourself in vibration or frequency to actually affirm yourself, affirm the God within you, to actually see yourself as being limitless and seeing yourself as being able to accomplish anything that you set your mind to being or doing. So this looks like, when I see it, I see this as zooming outside of yourself and literally meditating from that place. So I've been practicing this more, is just zooming outside of myself, literally sitting still and seeing all that is, not just within me, but also outside of me. So the more that you go within yourself is the more that you go within yourself, you start to, it seems like it's like people say it's selfish. That's why I say it's selfish. But really what it is as within, as outside. So the more that you go inside is the more that you actually see a better picture of what is actually needed and necessary outside, which is a different reality, which is a different viewpoint of what you might have seen as fear at one point, but now you're not scared of anything. So when it comes to this right here, your mind, when it comes to being selfish, right? We want to actually start to be more within ourselves and be more accustomed to who we are within, not just our bodies, but within our spirits as well, in order for us to be able to align ourselves with the God that is within us, in order for us to start to see this limitless power start to break through. So when it comes to that, when I say our mind and being selfish, what that really looks like right now is the more that you go inside and the more that you go within, you start to realize certain things about yourself. But here's the thing, it's not being selfish, because when you go up that scale of the map of consciousness, right? The more that you go within yourself, so say this is you, okay? And the more that you zoom out and you see this as, say, you're not seeing now in a first person view, but now you're starting to see things in, I'm gonna say, third person view. And it's like me meditating, and the more that I meditate, I'm able to go and zoom out and see. Now I'm outside of my body and I'm seeing the things that are happening like around me more. So more awareness starts to build. So after that, you have, we're gonna say, fifth person. So now I'm not actually within my body thinking and meditating anymore, but I start to go zoom out deeper, further, in order for now, say I'm able to see why like the wind blows like it is right now. I'm able to see the beauty in this freaking geese right here, just sitting here peacefully beside me, right? And seeing how like it's no, like, you're just starting to see more beauty, and you're starting to be more ineffable. And when I say ineffable, that is the highest state on the map of consciousness, which is, when it comes to consciousness, it comes to self. But it's so beautiful to be in these states of being right here in the highest spectrum, because you're not really being selfish, because now once you get to zooming out further and further to these places of being, by meditating and affirming yourself and other different things as well, like, what that does for you is it puts you in a place of actually feeling abundance and not actually needing anything, because you have everything. You're able to tap into everything. You're able to tap into like seeing and being in the same like state of like knowing that, say, another person is, because you've allowed yourself to be limitless and not just experience the power within yourself, but also experiencing the power within other people as well. Even if they don't see it, you see the power within them. And when it comes to like this level of consciousness right here, is having this self like awareness and all of these different things. The other thing that it does is it becomes a mirror that you see. Dang, this thing blowing, y'all. So this becomes a mirror reflecting other people as well. So you, from your high state of being, you now see all under you. You now see you're observing all the different things that are happening from this high state of being, from your mind within you. So now you're able to see the love within other people, even if they may be ignorant, even if they might not see the same thing you do, because you love them unconditionally to a point where it's like, yo, like, it's so dope, like, that I see the things that you're really thinking, even though it's like you don't mean it, but a part of you is actually yearning for that. But you no longer get so frustrated with people because you know where they are. Yeah. Subscribe, like, comment. I'll see y'all in the next joint. Watch that video all the way through, because it's really... And yeah. Bye.